a bunch of people together to sing. Y'all can even sing out the evening light. But start binding up the breaches. Start raising the standard to the start building faith up, my God. You're going to get his attention. And that's what happened here. He got the enemy's attention. As long as you ain't doing nothing, the devil will leave you alone. Start really getting before God. Right. You're going to face opposition. Like, what did I do? What did this be for real about gaining some ground for God? Amen. Turning your plate up, really seeking God. You're going to wake up the enemy, my God. So here, if you go back to verse 1, we're not going to go there, but they rebuilt the wall. They fortified themselves. They sacrificed. They worked. The enemy began to come in. Want to hinder you. Here they said, man, let's stop it. Others said, let's just hinder it. Let's just try to hinder it. We know we can't stop it. See, oh, they know they can't stop it. But they were anything that we can do, we'll settle for something. But let's watch and see. Come on. Nevertheless,
we made our prayer to our God.
You know what's amazing? They went to prayer. That's what you do when you find opposition. You start going to prayer. Some folk need to put their cell phone down and pick up the mic and get on their knees. My Lord, start going to prayer. Many situations linger because we're talking too much about it, not praying enough about it. My Lord, get on your knees, my God. This brother said we went to prayer. We didn't call no church meeting. We ain't said that. We going to prayer. We getting on our knees before God because we know we got a God that's able to answer our prayer. There's nothing, my God. If the Bible says 2 or 3 shall gather together, it may take a little while for God to come through, but just stay on your knees and stay right, my God. Find somebody to have an agreement of prayer with you. Somebody you get confidence in. And my God will bring the wall down every time. Amen. Right. We want to prayer. Prayer worked in the 60s. Prayer worked in the 70s. Prayer worked in the 80s. Prayer worked in the 90s. Prayer worked in the 2000s. Why are we going to try something different now? Amen. Come on and read it. Nevertheless,
we made our prayer
to our God.
Instead of watch against them day and night. Because of them.
Come on and read it.
And Judah said,
yes,
the strength of the bearers of burden is decayed.
Come on.
And there is much rubbish.
My Lord.
So that we are not able to build the wall.
Come on and read.
And our adversary said,
my Lord.
They shall not
Stop
know.
right there. We're going back up to verse number 11 with the text. It said, my God, verse 10, and Judah said, Lord, bless the preacher, the trumpeter. Lord, no. The first thing out of his mouth, he said, we're in trouble. He said, Lord. He didn't even pray, Lord, stop our adversaries. Why? Because when you're a real Mount Zion, nothing on the outside can hinder you from going forward. It don't matter how many of them is. It don't matter what churches or what street opposing this, that, and the other. He knew bearers. As long as the burden bearers don't get weak and tired on us, as long as the burden bearers are, my God, replaced when they pass away, as long as the burden bearers keep their vision clear, stay before God, because in order to really be a burden bearer, you got to be so close to God that you discern the burdens. You got to be so close to God that you perceive. Hold on. You got to see stuff. By the time you see it, normally it's too late. You got to see stuff before the average person would even perceive this is an issue in the congregation. You got to be so close to God, you can perceive that thing going to be a problem. You can see down before it even is manifested openly. God has already placed a burden on you. God has already begun to prepare you forward. God, you're rarely, my God, surprised. Pastor was dealing with some things, and it was amazing to me how each development, none of it was a surprise. You just seen the manifestation of that which was already in existence. I'm like, oh, how in the world did you? Been seeing that. Been seeing that. So here he said that Judah said the strength of the burden bearers is decayed. It said they had the trumpet, and you'll see that later in the text. They had singers, but one thing was needed for Zion to be built more than anything else. He said, in order for us to rebuild this thing, somebody going to bear these burdens.
That's right.
Somebody going to bear the burden of the trumpeter.
Right.
Somebody going to bear the burden of the singers. Somebody going to bear the burden of the work. So, as we looked, it said, when burden bearers are diminished, things that take place. It said, and there is much rubbish. When burden bearers aren't replaced, there'll begin to be much rubbish around the church.
Right. Right.
When burden bearers, listen, saints, you can preach till you turn blue. But some stuff is going to be prayed out the camp.
Amen.
Right.
You can sing how you want to do whatever you want to do. But some stuff, my God, it's going to take a burden bearer. Not I prayed about it, but I'm bearing the burden of this. And when your burden is there, it's easier to fast. Because you got such a heavy burden. Hold on. It's easy to stay focused on. I'm so burdened about this. So when burden bearers are replaced, much rubbish. What is it? Many lingering situations. Situations that should be eliminated. And we're not going to go there, but over in Acts, the 12th chapter, Peter, it took the burden bearers coming together.
Yes.
And if they hadn't come together,
yes,
then it would have been another funeral right after James. It would have been any place where the burden bearers aren't replaced, you're going to find lingering burden bearers to address. Also, underdeveloped new converts. New converts need burden bearers. Anytime you see a new convert fully developed, you go back and ask them, somebody took a unique burden on them. Somebody made themselves uncomfortable to go and check on them. Somebody was watching when they came to service, what time they got there. Somebody called them and asked them, do you not have a devotion? Somebody asked them, do you have outfits? Somebody called them and checked on them and seen, are you okay? Somebody was close enough and seen, they weren't there tonight. Let me call and see. And Brother Charles Williams often bring out at the park during service or whatever. Brother Hampton. This brother preaching, but was bearing the burden of new converts. Got out there, stopped the church, went all over to Rotary Place. Brother Charles, where you at, man? Where you at, man? When there are burden bearers, new converts, will begin to go through the motion instead of divine inspiration.
Right.
Those that came to serve with a burden tonight. I appreciate Sister Sabrina taking their stand, my God. Brother Sister went forth on Monday, I believe what? I got the report. They said, thank God I took my full stand. I'm not going to be dressing like no boy no more. I'm not going to just here going down to the line. I'm going all the way with this thing, my God. Amen. God done showed me some things, amen. But my God, we got to carry that burden. My God, it's like a new convert. That's a new baby in the midst. Hold on, are you okay, sis? Are you good? But my God, I can't be so focused on me. I can't depend upon the pastor. I can't depend upon this thing. I got to develop my experience enough that I can help get up under that burden. Not just pray for, but actually develop a burden, my God. When there's a lack of burden bearers, there's a lack of consistent manifestations. A lack of consistent manifestation. Why? Because a certain manifestation comes from burden bearers. How to be a burden bearer. One, you must be handling the situations at your own gate successfully. In order to be a burden bearer, I know we all going through a lot, but we must be handling the situations at our own gate successfully. I can't bear the burden of your family when my family's out of order. My family's completely out of order. We don't have family devotion. Me and my wife ain't on one accord. We argue with each other every day, but I'm sitting up there. I wouldn't even have a God. God deals with the most important first. One time a brother came and he was saying that it was something like this, that, man, God laid Sister so-and-so in my heart. I think I want to begin courting her. I think God showed me God. It was a pastor, one of the brothers said, no, God ain't showed us. I said, man, they waxing bold. God ain't showed you that. I'm sitting there like, how you know God ain't showed Sister so-and-so, this, that, and the other? I'm kind of listening. He said, no. Before God deals with the primary first. The gospel, the church. He didn't bring in unity of God's people in 1530. He brought in justification. Get yourself situated. Then he brought in sanctification restored, clearly. Then unity of God's people. So on and so forth. He said, brother, first, God gonna tell you, get fully sanctified. Then get a job. Then be the time on service. God ain't going to show you ready to be a priest of a home, this, that, and the other, when it's a certain figure, you don't have your own self. Well, here, it's tough to be a burden bearer. That's why I said the burden bearer is being replaced. People think that it's just, I'll replace it.
Nope.
Lord, help me to handle the burdens on my own gate, so I'm able to have that virtue left over to help the other saints.
Amen.
Also, burden bearer must have a burden.
Yes.
They must have a burden.
Yes.
Inspiration follows a burden.
Yes, sir.
When you burden for the service, when you can just do it. No, but you burden for the song service tonight. I'm burdened that God bless the testimonies tonight. I'm burdened, my God, that those that have a testimony will feel free to give it. I don't want, my God, saints to come from the 2 and 3 hours just to come here and just make some noise, just say something, just left with no power, no inspiration. Nobody brought them to the Lord. Rebuke that lethargic spirit. I know the saints are going through, but Lord, we pray you open up a floodgate tonight. Lord, bless the choir tonight. Lord, we don't need just some song just grabbed up and just running their arms like this. Lord, give them something fresh that we need tonight. Lord, bless the man of God. Lord, give us something tonight. We're going through here, God. New converts, old converts, middle-aged families, divine, all these things. Don't want just to come. I got visitors coming. I don't want them to come here. The Bible says sinners shall not stand in the congregation of the righteous. Nobody unsaved should be able to come in here and not feel, my God, conviction.
Hallelujah.
I'm burdened, my God. We have to be burdened about this, sir. Burdened about, my God, whatever challenges are facing the congregation. Lord, we're burdened about modesty. We don't want to lose it.
No.
It took too much to gain it.
Hallelujah.
Lord, help us to understand and appreciate it. Help us not to cut corners, Lord. Lord, we don't want to get this far down the road, my God, and lose. We don't find people regaining ground that they lost, my God, in regards to the standards and the doctrine.
Amen.
So we're burdened, my God, that another generation don't rise up here and come with a new way. We're burdened, my God, that the older saints don't get old and begin to stumble right before the gate. Lord, help them not to stumble. Help their vision stay clear. Lord, I will give my all. I don't want them to stumble at the end. Sometimes when you get older,
Come on, bro.
my God, you need a little help. So my God, I'm praying, Lord, I'll get up under one arm, I'll get up under the other. I'm concerned about me, but I'm also concerned about them getting off here on the white horse, my God.
Come on, brother. Come on. Yeah.
So in order to be a burden bearer, you got to have a real, genuine burden because it will produce divine inspiration. Divine inspiration. Also, in order to have a burden, we must have a vision. You got to have some discernment. You got to be able. Most of those that are real burden bearers will have to come in and there'll be a matter going on. And here comes Sister Green, you met you. She said, we're dealing with, she said, I see it. All right, you ain't got to say this, that, and the other, did. I'm on.
Have mercy.
I see it. In order to be a burden bearer, there's a certain vision you got to have. You got to have a divine vision of the church. You got to see what the church is and what it's not. And you can't have any respective person. You can't have any respective person. None whatsoever, because that's where the devil will work in. He will work to your children, your friend, your cousin, your brother, your sister. No, you can't have your wife. You can't have any respective person whatsoever. Your vision got to be so clear. That's how the devil will get in here.
Yes.
That's how the devil will make allowance for your wife, make allowance for your child. But you can't put judgment on nobody that your own household is violating.
Amen.
What in the world you think you are? You gonna get preach a heavy gospel? Hold on. And saints will love you. Saints that appreciate you. Try it. And they'll quickly remind you.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Amen.
Excuse me.
Amen.
So in order to be a burden bearer, you got to have a vision. You got to have discernment to begin to sense. When you got discernment, you can sit here and hear the pastor. It might even be like a simple morning service and just hear what he's saying. You got discernment, you pick it right up. Oh. You don't even, sometimes it may be like intercongregational stuff. A lot of times it's ministerial. He don't want to just A, B, C, D, E it, but he's just saying enough. Be careful with this. Right? Did we go on to such and such? And sometimes I'm going to tell you, when you got enough discernment and you got precision and you're a burden bearer, you can hear clearly by what he don't say.
Yes.
You can hear, sometimes you can hear clearly by what the pastor don't say.
Yes.
He ain't got to spell it out. You ain't got to, and if you get close enough, you can tell by body language.
Oh, yeah.
Some ain't right, some ain't. So in order to be that burden bearer, you must have that vision, that discernment, and you must be living close enough to God to be in tune with it. Without that burden bearing, it'd be difficult for new converts to really get established. It'd be difficult for faith to really get. Saints, let me pray for me.
Bless you.
Almost now. There's been congregations that preach divine healing. They didn't have the burden bearers. So the inspiration to trust God at that moment wasn't present. So therefore, the standing wasn't. It wasn't that they quit preaching it. It wasn't they wouldn't get up, James 5:7, any sick man. No. But you can preach and you turn blue if you ain't got some burden bearers that's willing to be there at midnight when that situation. That's why I say, I'm going to tell you, if you're in the standing congregation, you are obligated to be there for them.
Amen.
Whatever you got to do, however you got to do it. My God, they're counting on you. They don't know no other way. They're not counting on nobody else. How in the world you doing whatever you want to do and however you want to do it? And now sometimes situations may develop. You may not perceive it. But if you can sense, hold on, this situation, you need to stop life. Whatever I got to do, however I got to take a day off, do whatever I got to do. I'm not coming in, do whatever. Why? Because I'm not going to allow them to go through like this without no, and we go on about our business like this. Be careful you won't have a standard in that area in your work.
Hallelujah.
Right.
Unless you got a burden bearers and they can sense saints holding us up. They get inspiration, not just from oil, but the burden bearers. The burden bearers. My God, we've seen situations where up at the hospital and dealing with this and the other. The whole chapel downstairs, you can't get into the chapel. So many people laying on ground. The altar is packed. The row 1, row 2, row 3. Saints stepping over people, walking down. This, that, trying to find a little place in a corner, just getting before God. That inspiration, not just the oil, not just their determination, but the inspiration from that room began to go through the elevator, upstairs. My God, to produce a courage and a confidence and a faith. My God, and God turned the situation around. But my God, it's the burden bearers and the essential role that they play. It's not a cute assignment. You're not going up and standing here, everybody later. You're not the one that's getting up and down. But my God, behind the scenes, I got this. I'm standing there with him. It'll be hard for those to trust. Hard for those to take the stand. Older saints. Wasn't no burden bearers there for them. Many ministers have gone off, like they said the other day. That tail walked down the third part of the stars. Where were they burden bearers? Moses needed them. You know, if he was good enough, if he was mighty enough, he wouldn't need that. Moses needed it, great as he was. They said, well, Moses, my God, and Aaron got on one side, the other one got on, he said Israel prevailed. But my God, when they didn't, Israel struggled. Moses needing burden bearers.
That's right.
All right, let's look at the result. Verse 11. Read that from the front.
And our adversary said,
They shall not know, neither see, till we come in the midst of them, and slay them, and cause the work to cease.
Three things in this before we pray. Our adversaries, without burden bearers, the adversary will begin to affect the work. Spirits began to oppose. The adversary will begin to affect the progress. 2, it said, and they shall not know neither see. Without burden bearers, things will begin to slip in.
Lord, help us here.
He said here, they shall not know neither see. Until we all be in the camp. Full compromise. Weird. How y'all doing? Welcome. I'm weird. Full compromise. I think, how did we lose that standard? Hold on. I thought we didn't go to the movies or bring them to our home.
Come on, brother.
How did that happen?
Amen. Come on.
Hold on. I thought we trusted God. What?
Come on.
Hold on. We don't wear that.
Right.
Where'd that go? What? It said, the adversaries shall say, they shall not see us. They shall not know. Right in a minute. What are you? What adversary are you? I am a division spirit.
Right.
Takes my time. I know who to go and how to go and who to get up next to. Hold on. I thought we prayed division spirits up out of here. A whole new set. Let me slip here. Let me sit over here. No, what? It wasn't the priest, but no burden bearers. Burden bearers are completely neutral. They know no friends. They don't take sides. They too spiritual for that. They worried about the work. They worried about building up, not tearing down, not taking rumors and trying to. It might be somebody struggling. A person that's not a burden bearer will attack them. A burden bearer, I don't agree perhaps with what you're doing, but I'm still trying to build you up. I'm still trying to help you through. You're going through a lot. I'm not going to condone, compromise or condone whatever, but I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to go and talk to 10 people about your shortcomings. That's not a burden bearer. Burden bearer don't do that. Burden bearer get before God and sense that he's going through a lot. Lord, don't let the devil take him. Lord, please fill him up. Lord, give him strength. Burden bearer, come give you a word of encouragement. Burden bearer will actually, somebody's trying to talk about this. They're trying to minimize it. Listen, hold on. Oh, let's not just judge this right now. Hold on. Let's pray about this. Real burden bearers will hinder the adversary for taking up camp.
Yeah.
Right in the midst of the saints.
Yeah.
Right in the midst of the saints. No. That's not going to happen. Some pillars are around here. Some burden bearers are around here. And they're not going to allow it to happen. So it said that the enemy will slip in. They said, they shall not know, neither see, till we come into the midst among them. Now we're there. We right in the midst among them. You got people, my God, in important positions up, doing this, that, and the other, with no real vision of the church. No real calling, no real anointing, no real. How did that happen?
Preach
The
it,
last
brother.
one, my God, is said in verse number 11. He said, and among them, and slay them, and cause the work to cease.
Saints. In verse number 18, don't go there if you don't have the time. Now we're going to focus tonight. Lord, build up burden bearers. But verse 18, it talks about the trumpet. It talks about all this. They weren't even talking about the trumpet. They said, if we get to the burden bearers, not the gathering to cease. They were rebuilding Jerusalem. They were rebuilding Mount Zion. Every I, every dot, every tittle on what the Church of God has historically stood for, that work, that congregation proclaims all of it, and they're producing, my God, at the same rate, the same level with God's divine power. That's going to cease. He says the burden bearers, the young people, start getting saved, and they're worried about courting. They worried about, oh, I get this job. Okay, then I'm going to get my degree. And then I want to go get this better job. And I don't like this, so I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to go do this. And then I'm going on this assignment for 5 months. And then I'm going to go. Just let a generation. I'm so concerned about my family. Okay, we're going on vacation on this day. We're going on this day. We're going on this. And then we come back and we're going here. Oh, then me and my wife, we're going on a date tonight. And that's not good. But let a generation come up in which the burden bearers are replaced. Jerusalem will have its hands full. And that's what we don't want to happen. We sense church going through a lot. Pastor got a lot on his plate. God is blessing and helping him. But the burden tonight is that God would give us discernment and to realize, Lord, we need to bear a greater portion of the work. Lord, the days of calling Sister Green. Oh, but I had to get saints. You're going to look up, and it's going to be too late. Oh, I called to. Oh, I can go. Oh, brother so and so. He always. Oh no, somebody came in with some foolishness. Brother so and so, sister so and so. There. That's you. Are you in position? Am I in position to bear the work that the wall may be fully rebuilt? That God can have Zion to be Zion. May God bless the saints. Amen. We're going to take prayer requests at this time. And saints, there are some requests that are personal. There are some requests that you bring to the body. That's for us to bear.